A tribute to Harold and Colin Toft. Harold and Colin were the youngest sons in a large, poor family, making a modest living from a small cane farm. They were raised during the Great Depression. Hired labour was both scarce and costly, so the 5 Toft boys were press-ganged at an early age into the daily grind of subsistence farming.
Just make believe you're a tiny little seed, a tiny little seed that's reaching up to meet your need. With the right amount of faith and the right amount of earth, you'll grow to see the sunshine on your day of birth. Let's listen to the land we all love. Nature's plan will shine above. Listen to the land, listen to the land. Let's listen to the land we all love. Nature's plan will shine above. Listen to the land, listen to the land. When springtime comes, how can you tell? The air is always filled with orange blossom smell. Come summertime, the warmest sunshine.
They knew the back-breaking toil of hand-cutting and loading from dawn to dusk, 6 days a week. Determined to escape the sweat and drudgery of hand-loading, the oldest son, Joseph Toft, in 1940, fashioned a mechanical loader from scrap and a cannibalised Model T Ford, which cost £10. It was essentially a simple model crane with a grab to lift cane bundles onto a truck. It took 3 men to operate and was no mechanical masterpiece, but it encouraged the boys to continue experimenting over the next 2 years. They improved the loader whilst also developing a whole-stalk harvester based on a 25 horsepower tractor. This entailed cutting every mainframe rod and component with a handheld hacksaw. In characteristic Toft fashion, they overcame wartime shortage of power hacksaws and other engineering tools by building their own. Like so many others, they worked mechanical wonders despite a lack of formal education. In 1956, during the slack, much effort and money was expended to try to develop a principle for a one-man cane loader. What did transpire was that the loader would not have been a commercial proposition using the tractor on which it was fitted. However, it proved the principle that was to be followed in 1957. They moulded their energies, talents and vision into a powerful marketing force. Harold, the inventive genius; Colin, the master salesman. It took the brilliance of both Harold and Colin to establish Bundaberg as the undisputed world capital of cane harvester manufacturing. They built from the ground up a hydraulic cane loader and fitted it onto a four-wheel drive ex-army vehicle. Hydraulics was a new and unexplored field for cane growers and inventors. The Mechanical Cane Harvesting Committee doubted that anyone could successfully undertake such a sophisticated project. It was not long before they were forced to eat their words. Late in 1956, Toft Brothers unveiled a hydraulic loader. In 1958, a tractor-type loader was developed, which became the forerunner of a very successful system. In 1965, the HL 300 cane loader was the most effective machine ever built in the world for its intended purpose of loading bundled cane onto infield rail cars. Having gone through a quiet period in the late 1940s and early 1950s, Harold and Colin came back into harvesting development in the late 1950s with a vengeance. While developing a two-row machine, Toft also was working on a single-row whole stalk unit to attach to a standard tractor. It could handle both erect and sprawled crops. All controls were hydraulically operated. They successfully manufactured a range of whole stalk harvesters, including the Slim Jim in 1965 and the Burdekin Special 1966. The J150 and J250 were released around 1967. The J250 whole stalk harvester was the finest, most efficient and productive whole stalk machine of single row design for the harvesting of recumbent cane. In 1968, Tofts released their first up-the-throat chopper, the CH200, acknowledging that the industry's future was tied to chopper harvesting. Ultimately, Toft was to secure 90% of the world market for chopper harvesters. In the 1960s, Harold's development program was outstanding, as development changed seasonally. It was Harold and Colin's original determination to produce the best equipment they could. A second and equally important consideration was that if it bore their name, it had to be given top service. Following these ideals, supplying quality equipment and giving the best service possible, the market went from strength to strength. By the early 70s, Harold was ready to build a chopper harvester for New South Wales. The problems he faced there was that most of the time, very wet conditions applied. Also, the crop was of a 2-year cycle, which meant that the cane was big, heavy, and often in a sprawled and tangled condition. This was the first time steel tracks were ever used on a Toft harvester. They were fitted to the CH464 chopper harvester. It had 2 engines mounted on each side above the tracks. Toft had a dedicated staff who would carry the name of Toft into the field under the most difficult conditions and always succeeded. Harold a brilliant practical and conceptual engineer. Colin's skills encompassed not only the marketplace, but in the management and the purchasing areas. They captured the imagination of the sugar industry throughout the world, but not without a lot of effort and hard work. During this period, infield transporters were added to the Toft range. In 1972, Harold built the world's biggest cane harvester. This 40-ton giant was built to handle the world's heaviest cane crops in Hawaii, powered by 2 heavy-duty diesel engines with a total of 800 horsepower. An advanced feature was its capacity to enter a field at any point and cut width or across the row. It could harvest crops up to 150 tons an acre. The 4000, 5000 and 6000 were built in late 1976 and were the last machines designed by Harold. They were probably his greatest achievement in mechanical cane harvesting. Cole Toft once said of his brother Harold, full credit to the determination and his ingenuity in the development of machinery for the sugar industry. No country was too big a challenge, no sugar area was too big. From their farm workshop, previously an old barn and tractor shed at Avoca, Toft Brothers grew to become the world's largest sugarcane harvester manufacturing company. Their illustrious careers will long be visible by the machinery which will continue to serve the industry well. A monument to their dedication, determination and fundamental skills. For their years of service to the sugar industry, they were honoured by the Queen. Harold to be a member in the General Division of the Order of Australia in January 1984. And Colin to the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire, June 1989.